Alright, so welcome again to Closure Alert Alpha Protocol Part 2. Once again, I am Brandon Carey. Joining me, of course, is Alduin
Hi, I'm Alduin.
and Anaphysic.
And I'm Will, probably better known as Anaphysic.
And we are continuing our adventures in the Saudi Arabias. Oh, that motion blur sucks. Holy shit. Let's see if I
You
can
have motion
turn that
blur on?
off. I didn't realize I had it on.
Oh wow, yeah, that's what on
s-
earth? That was not happening last week, was it?
I don't remember it happening last week, but I don't want it. Yeah, there we go. That's camera, like moving the camera should not cause motion blur, game. That's not a thing that should ever happen.
Not like that. That's a lot better.
Let's see if I have any intel I need to buy.
It's on the laptop, right?
Yeah, from the clearinghouse.
Yeah, there we go.
No, we're all good. Let me check my
You just
build.
went and bought all of it at the end of last
Yeah.
week, I think.
I think I also checked. I also established a build. I think I put the utility armor on. Let me actually confirm that. No armor.
You might want some armor.
I might want some armor. Interceptor body armor. That's fine. No. What? Why? Why, game? This menu. Kind of sucks.
Did you get your controller?
No, I did not. I'm
You
a
were going
bad
to.
person. Let's see. Do we have any models of SMG? No, we do not. Let's see. Oh, we gotta hit the silencer for this pistol, otherwise it is basically fucking useless. Don't we?
A silencer for a spy's pistol seems like a good idea. Yes.
Let's... Do they not sell a silencer in...
You don't have one yet?
Oh, here. Could be an attachments. No. Nope. These are all armor attachments.
What are you looking for? You look for the mods? They should be under
Yeah.
armor.
I'm looking for the silencer, Will.
Oh, there's under pistol. They did sell one.
I'm not seeing it.
You're looking under pistol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a barrel mod.
Huh.
Oh no! Oh, I know why you don't have it. You killed Nasri, you fool.
That's alright. We'll pick one up in the field at some point, I'm sure. Oh, they get better at stealth, or at least better at killing dudes. One or the other.
Okay, well, since you can't stealth anymore with your pistols, you should just use SMGs.
That seems like a terrible idea.
Look, you get to respec at the end of Saudi Arabia, so you may
There
as
we
well
go.
spec.
I
you already
had
have-
one. I didn't realize I
Oh,
did.
you just already have one.
Alright. This UI is bad and wrong and ugly UI.
Anyways, since we killed Nasri, just like if you arrest, you lose a lot of access to items in the clearinghouse, because Nasri is just, I mean, he's a weapons dealer, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense that if you were able to buy weapons from him before and you remove him from the economy, you can't buy stuff from him.
Right, but on the other hand, the bad guys can't buy weapons either.
It's true, and
Does that actually make a
Nope.
difference? I don't think that actually.
yes, it does. They're poorly.
They
they're
are
equipped.
worse equipped for Nasri being
Okay.
dead. Actually.
That
Or
sounds
arrested,
good.
but yeah, in this case, from being dead. I'm not sure if we get any more stuff from him being dead. From him being arrested, you get some intel later on. Basically, the CIA tortures him, and they happen to get they waterboard him. Yeah, they torture him.
No. You know,
they-
enhanced interrogation doesn't actually
They
work.
even make dark jokes about it.
I mean, I agree, Alduin, but like this was a product from over a decade
Yeah,
ago.
I mean, Jack Bauer was literally one of the inspirations, right? So.
Yeah, so like, you're right, but
It's
this
about-
game
it's
doesn't
about
know or
spy-
frankly care about that.
It's about
You know-
spy fiction, not about like actual spycraft.
Mm-hmm. And Mina Tang
Oh,
likes us.
did you? But since you killed him, you get like a. Don't you get a trophy in your house?
Oh yeah, I think I do his glass eye as a trophy. Let's see if I.
Yeah, no,
if
no,
it's
no.
here.
Do Darcy's one. Do Darcy's one.
Oh wait. Oh yeah. Let's do like yeah sure. Let's do the Darcy mission because we have.
Because how actually a lot of hubs work, but how this particular works is that you only need to complete 2 of these missions in order to off the final one. Before, like in story, you have enough intel to know where Shahid and the missiles are going to be going.
We are going to do all 3 by the
where
way,
you
just for
can
the
do stuff.
record.
We're going to do all 3
yeah.
no matter what. But there's bonus dialogue that talks about like if you complete Bug All Smell Airfield, the Mina's one.
Yeah.
At the end of that mission, you can ask her, so like, should I still do the Jizan Air Base thing? And the Jizan stockpile thing? And she'll go, well, like maybe, like it would certainly help for intel wise and help confirm our information for sure. But like maybe if we do it, Shahid might get away or whatever. There's no actual consequence to that, and none of the missions have that. But it does make an interesting little story cell, and it gives you a bit of information about like what the trade-offs real operatives might have to deal with, and of course what the characters are thinking about. Like Mina really wants us to get to Shahid.
Just checking in. Had some questions.
Partly she has like partly what she claims is she has personal backstory with like, her and Parker were investigating. Are you going to try and piss off Darcy or be nice to him?
We're not going to be nice to Darcy in the least.
Okay, well then it's like mono aggressive, I think.
Oh yeah. It's mono aggressive. He hates when people have attitude towards him, which is fine because I also like to have attitude towards him.
I think he also dislikes some professional, but mostly aggressive ones.
Reason better than me.
Right. Well, I hope you don't mess this up.
Anyway,
Clean up after you.
That'll be hard to do with you all the way
yeah.
back.
So I'm curious to see how the game justifies you having cheat in the missile intel, their location, where you can, actually intercept them, based on just these 2 missions.
Camp's remote.
You're going to see how they justify it in the plot.
Yeah. Especially since you just shot Nasri, so you got no intel from him whatsoever. If you arrest him, the
I mean,
CIA.
I probably looted the corpse.
Yes, you got his glass eye. You got his glass.
Yeah.
Bit upset?
They would have told us if we like actually found something off of him.
Safe house. Don't live very long.
Well, we'd
Are
have
we
to check
pissing off Darcy?
the mission summary.
Threat. You bring that temper of yours into the mission, there's bound to be a bigger explosion than you like.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I can
Are we pissing off Darcy?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
being super aggressive and angry at him.
It is the classic.
I don't know why you would want to be nice to Darcy. That's for sure.
There is no reason to be nice to Darcy. He does the same thing to you no matter what your position is towards him,
Yeah,
and it
oh
makes
my
more sense for him
God.
to hate you in the story than for him to like you.
I mean, you have to fight him anyway, right? So.
He does have some decent dialogue if you're like nice to him. And he seems kind of like
Then it's your job.
he actually seems a bit butt monkey-ish even within Alpha Protocol, so it's kind of easy to not hate him too much. It's also pretty easy to hate on him though because he is a jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Jack
I
at the
think you can
silver
actually kind of
spoon.
go either way. Actually, really, either way that you go has no effect on the plot whatsoever.
Yeah, the like Darcy is one of those people where it feels like there was supposed to be much more to him, and then they didn't really follow through, or they didn't have enough time to flesh out the details with his relationship with Wharton. Which is kind of a problem that a couple of people in this game have. Like Sis is another example where like they bring her up once and then literally
I
never
disagree about
again.
this. I disagree. I mean, what you just said is correct. They basically bring her up one.
Like if like they give you a reputation, like you can ding and up her reputation, but like it feels weird that you can because she feels more like a mook than an actual character.
You can do that with basically any character that has a name, though. Like,
Bad intel.
most of the characters have, even ones that you only meet a couple times, still have like the reputations and things.
There we go, a nice silence pistol. That's what I want.
Oh, like
It's pretty inevitable.
Nasri technically has a reputation. You can never influence whatever way. Breako, funny because I think
Right, but you don't have influence now his reputation.
Possibly.
He's just a character in the world that you deal with. Like his reputation for you never changes because he barely even knows who the hell you are.
you can get my reputation. I don't think you can get positive reputation.
That makes
Pretty
sense.
funny.
I
You
feel
might
like
want
can
to-
minus
You might want to go into
when you shoot them in the
Discord,
head.
Will, and reduce the threshold for which the microphone activates. because you're kind of cutting off on my end at least when you're talking.
Just to put it up. Is that better?
You're still sounding a little weird,
Yeah.
but
Sound like bots. Oh,
yeah, lots of robots,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh shit! Whoops.
Oh,
see.
that's
You're in Dan's. You can see.
now we wait 5 seconds, and yeah, you just got shot. Okay. See, this is when you switch to SMGs instead of shooting him 5 times.
Hey, the alarm didn't get triggered. That's a good thing.
There's no alarms in this area, I guess.
I mean, there was an alarm that was right next to me.
Oh, you were on top of the alarm.
Yeah, that's the ideal, right?
Anyway, I actually disagree about Sis. I mean, Sis has a very small role in the game, but I actually think like the amount that you see of her is pretty great for just a singular character. Like they get her out there, they do her backstory in one really cool scene,
Yeah.
and like that kind of encapsulates the character in a lot of ways. Especially since like, I mean, you can't really have a long conversation with her anyway. You can only have like you found information and you present that to her, or you have
At the
body
camp.
language type stuff.
Mhm.
I think they do I think they do a very good job with her body
Yeah,
language,
it's across the camp.
expressing different
just-
mental states. And I think they do a very good job with you like summarizing her backstory in a way that I mean, because you can't really know her backstory, but you summarize it in a very metaphorical way that allows for a lot of different interpretations. And we'll talk more about that when we get to Sis in
Yeah.
Moscow.
But it's like you don't have to have like every character doesn't have to be as fully developed as every other character. So if you can have one character that makes a big impact in a short amount of time in just a conversation or two, like that's absolutely worthwhile, and isn't necessarily like a drop
I keep
thread.
for-
But I mean, I'm sure this game does have plenty of drop threads, like any Obsidian
Yeah.
game seems to. But
Obsidian in particular are kind of at this point infamous for their dropped threads.
yeah, I mean, any game does that because that's just how development happens, right? But
Yeah, but
I guess New
Obsidian in
Vegas,
particular.
New Vegas doesn't have that as much. But New Vegas has a much greater amount of time to spend on various different characters and various different plot threads. Like Alpha Protocol can't do that. Number one, because it's on a shorter runtime, but number two because of its kind of mission structure,
Yeah.
and number three because it is trying to emulate something pretty specific, which is the faster pace of a kind of
Spy
movie.
movie. Yeah.
Like that's why the dialogue timer is there.
Yeah, it is basically a spy movie simulator. Is a good way to think about
Yeah.
how Protocol is.
I mean, that's literally what they call it, right? Espionage RPG. That's what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be. And it
No,
gets
I wonder if
little-
it would be. I wonder if it'd be good to see like Until Dawn being a horror movie simulator, have even more something like that for kind of like an Alpha Protocol too.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting if Obsidian went more in that like almost interactive fiction direction, because like the more gamey parts of their games are often the worst part.
Yeah, you know what? You're not exactly wrong.
I mean,
One
even the
game
ones
that-
Go ahead.
Nah, you go ahead. I'll bring up a second point later.
Okay. Even the
It's
ones
about a
that they've
different game.
done, like the most successful ones seem to be the ones that are like sequels to other people's games, like New Vegas. So
I'm sorry. I just got to him landing on these two guys and like
Yeah.
dancing around
Well,
like
that
a moron.
SMG is
Oh,
so
I'm not sure if
terrible.
he's dying. Yet
That
or not.
SMG
Okay,
kind of
goodbye.
fucking sucks, actually.
You have 8 health. You should probably heal if you haven't.
I don't have any first
Yeah,
aid
have you
kits.
used
I
first
have
aid?
I have no first aid kits, so
At
we're
least
going in
Alduin-
raw, gentlemen.
When Alduin played this game, he brought first aid kits. He didn't use them, but he brought them.
I didn't die that many times, I don't think.
You actually didn't die. Most of your deaths were self-inflicted,
Yes.
like trying to punch a turret
Yeah. I
or
pushed out-
shooting a car. Actually, you died. Your first death was right
Oh,
in this
yeah.
mission. The truck in the
remember.
middle of this thing caught fire. We were like, oh, you're gonna die. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna so die. And you're like, yep, called it, because we get to see you crouching, trying to sneak away from the truck. It blows up. You slow motion, flip 360 degrees over, land on your back. And it's just hilarious animation.
Did he just not even bother trying to shoot at you?
He did. They all missed.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I was gonna
Because I know how to shoot in video games. Kind of. sort of. Not really, but we'll pretend I do.
What were we saying, Antiphysic?
So so I was gonna bring up a comparison to like Until Dawn or like a movie simulator type game. And this is a controversial game. I kind of like it for some reasons, and
Yeah.
I didn't like it for other reasons. But Jurassic Park the game, but actually had like a really good idea behind it that you were serving kind of as a director to the movie rather than a controller of
Are you
characters.
talking about Until Dawn?
And which is actually very similar to Until Dawn as well.
Okay.
But this came out a couple years before Until Dawn, I think.
Okay, which
maybe
game were you talking about? I missed it.
Jurassic Park, the game,
Oh, yeah.
by
You
Telltale.
mean the Telltale game?
Yeah, I played
Yeah, the
that one.
Telltale game.
I actually have a review of that somewhere on the internet.
Anyway, I actually quite enjoy the game. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's good or anything like that, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of decent ideas in it, and I like that the story really fits with Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you can clearly
the
see it
story
as...
elements.
You can clearly see how that would become what would be the Walking Dead model.
But also
I'm
it
sad again.
has a very directorial feel to it. Like it's not as well done as it should be. You control a bunch of as you go through the thing. So
It's
you're
more like you
simulating
control the
a movie.
overall flow. Like the overall the details are already kind of mostly locked in place. Like the Telltale, it was the precursor to the Telltale model, but you controlled you controlled the flavor of it. I should probably say more.
Yeah.
You can, for instance, some characters betray each other.
Yeah.
It has like the main one of this happens in the very end game where you have to make a character choose between their personal mission or trying to save the life of another character, for instance.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
There are some.
Maybe I remember
There's
from
a
that
few
game.
things. You also get to choose but you also get to choose basically like how some characters die and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you get to make kind of directorial choices. There's not.
See,
enough
now
of
I
that
have some extra health.
In particular, I think one of the most interesting characters in the game is unfortunately in the end game very static. Like you don't have a choice about what to do. They like go bonkers and try to kill everybody, sort of thing. Which is a really unfortunate thing because this character is one of the most interesting guys. I forget what his name is, but it starts with a Y. At least he was the most interesting one to me. He's like a normal soldier type guy, but a mercenary guy. But he goes to the thing. He also has a wonderful dialogue wheel, like in his first introduction scene, which is like, it's actually like my only screenshot from the game. I will look it up, but you get a dialogue wheel between 3 options, and they're all amazing. Like I can only imagine seeing an Alpha Protocol wheel between these 3 and feeling like a lot of Alpha Protocol dialogue wheel choices. Let me look it up.
I'm probably going to lay off the SMGs for a bit until I get more ammo for them.
Yeah, running out would be bad. You always just punch more people out.
I forgot
die.
there is a melee system to this game.
Okay, here we go.
Because
You
you
get-
up and hit like F.
It's E actually.
I
Melee
actually
is
rebinded.
E.
I rebinded to F, but yeah, melee is by default E. I rebind
That's
it to
why-
F. I
that's why I
rebind
punched so many doors.
interact to E, and I rebind.
Oh, that's why you
forward
punched all the
spacebar.
doors. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. See, I can see
but-
why you were bad at playing this game on PC, because this game plays like ass on PC. To be blunt.
I can't shoot anything with a controller, so
All right, so your first dialogue choice as this particular mercenary character is a choice between cavemen, alpha lizard, and dino boots.
which character was that?
In Jurassic Park, the game, one of the mercenary characters,
Okay.
the one without a beard.
Okay. But yeah,
It's just this really funny moment.
It's really funny watching these like hardened mercenaries like get dropped by a single shot from a weak ass pistol.
Well, I mean that is what happens when you shoot people in the head.
Yeah. The
You-
part that
Like
looks
you
hard
say,
to-
it's really funny, and you're like, actually, this is super realistic.
The thing that bugs me is how they're just like dancing in and out of cover and like not shooting at you. Like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then you get shot and you barely notice, right? That's how it works.
Like I'm literally not even getting scratched with from his bullets.
He's still missing.
Well, you've got pretty decent armor on, and actually, they probably have shit armor because you.
I'm not even taking endurance
Yeah,
damage.
he's not even taking endurance. endurance.
Oh, maybe they're wielding SMGs or something.
Yeah. 'Cause we all know SMGs.
As we all know, SMGs are the
Don't
worst
forget
weapons in the game.
hack the door, by the way. Hack the electronic lock on rusty metal bars. It's one of the more
Oh, right
amazing
here.
parts of this. But yeah, so there's a mission structure where if you complete 2 of these missions, oh yeah, it's one of these crazy ones. I actually rarely see the higher level.
They're actually not that hard
Block
once
pick
you get the
ones.
hang of them.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Yeah,
fun.
none of them are really that hard.
It's just I always put points in sabotage.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. Like, like my usual build when I'm playing this game is specializing in stealth and pistols, and it'll oscillate between the tech app or sabotage as my third.
Also,
skill.
I usually use utility armor, and I get one of those like basically sabotage boosting.
I mean, the thing
mods,
with
just
utility
because
armor,
there's nothing better at the beginning.
I usually use that until I can get the max level stealth gear,
Yeah.
because then you get a huge huge amount of endurance.
Did you actually get the stuff out of that room?
I got the money. I don't know if I saw anything else.
Was there
Oh,
any
okay.
intel in
There's Halbeck data. Not Halbeck data. Maybe there's Halbeck intel. A dossier. Sorry. It might be just with the money.
there? Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
probably grabbed it. I don't see anything.
Yeah, it's fine.
This
Anyway,
is-
so you have to complete 2 of these missions. So I'm interested to see like how they justify some of it, because one of these missions makes a ton of sense and actually almost makes no sense why you don't just get the information from this one mission, which is bugging the Alsamad airfield. Because
Yeah.
when you bug it and you find all their flight records, you know exactly when Shahid is going to come in to this area, and you know.
I'm
when
actually
they're
getting kind of
shipping the
pissed
missiles.
off that it's become real easy for me just to sit here and then meticulously aim
Literally just
while
not-
they are literally not doing anything that's doing any real damage to me.
I mean, literally not doing any damage to you.
I'm literally sitting there, not even crouched, just standing up.
And you just train for like 5 seconds and then just shoot and they die.
Well, as we tried to note, it tries to mimic a spy movie, and one of the classic tropes is Boots can't aim at the hero.
The law of conservation of ninjutsu.
That would
Generally-
actually be. There are like things like that. There's not nearly enough where I'm trying to think of something. But basically, instead of like a health bar, you have a luck bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Uncharted, like that's actually if you
Oh, does
ever-
Uncharted literally do that? Does
if you listen to people talk about like if you talk about Uncharted health system, the way they actually describe it is actually just luck. Every time the bullet hits you, it just nearly missed you.
Yeah.
But the one that like when you're low on luck, that last bullet is the one that actually finally hits you and kills you.
Does it
Fuck the
actually
tabletop role-playing game.
visually represent that? Like the bullets get closer and closer.
No, not visually, but like that is the canonical explanation for it.
Oh well, that's no. I mean, so,
That's no
yeah.
fun.
So they like the
It's how they explain why he can
in
get
D&D
shot
or
once
whatever.
in cutscenes, and like shot a billion times in the actual.
Yeah, no, that is lazy. No, I mean you have to actually represent that in the show. You can't have blood splatter off of you. I mean, there's any moment
Oh, that was-
in a couple weeks ago, but
Yeah.
one of this thing where you
Yeah,
have two
but like
holes
endurance is
and
literally
two
like your
bleeding bullet
combined
holes.
like a skill at dodging bullets and armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like in like a lot of tabletop RPGs, like D&D, HP is an abstract representation, but
Yep.
people still talk about, oh, you hit them with their sword, right? When that's not
Yeah.
really what's supposed to happen. Is
A
oh,
lot
you
of-
tuckered them out as you swung your sword, and they had
There's a lot
to
of role-playing
spend
games
energy to move like that.
is-
that
Yeah,
are
there's
more
tons of stuff.
explicit about it being like luck or
But here's the
like,
thing.
Endurance or something like that.
The question is that actually shown descriptively in the thing?
Well,
Like in a tabletop game, I'm saying a lot of
Yeah.
times people don't descriptively do that. In a video game, they don't visually represent it. They don't have you get hit by bullets.
There was
So,
like a
like-
Star Wars game or something, I think, that made a big deal out of that, like a role-playing game, a tabletop, about like you don't actually have HP, you just have luck. And then there's ones like, what is it? In like Blades in the Dark, like you get different
Yeah.
penalties and stuff. So, yeah, there are definitely role-playing games that work
Wow.
with those. Did that grenade even do anything?
Speaking of,
I moved a little to the left, so no, it did not.
Yeah.
As you know, when you throw a grenade
Does it
in
move
real
a
life,
little to the
Valorant, if you just
right?
move slightly to the left of the grenade, it does no damage.
Yeah.
Um,
No like 10-meter radius here.
oh,
Speaking
SMG
of
rounds.
kind of directorial things, there's a tabletop RPG called Geiger Counter, which is meant to simulate a horror movie, and it's downright like literally the movie form. Like the first thing that you do after deciding a premise or whatever is make the trailer for the movie, and then you come up with the title for the movie, and then you go scene by scene through the movie. And characters in that, nobody's attached to certain characters. They just have to play them in certain scenes, and instead, like, you rotate around. The person that you're actually playing is the director of the movie, and then you tell other players to play characters in this scene.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, I've been hoping to play this sometime. I don't know, that might be a fun. We could even do it on voiceover. But yeah, like characters in the game, they can accumulate status effects basically, and those status effects might be lost, where they can't go to a known place that they know about, a location that you've already established that that they know about, until they lose the lost condition, or they might get the alone condition or the infected condition.
Not a problem.
Which passes the infection on to other people. But they don't have. My point is that they don't have, like an HP stat or something like that. They gain specific conditions.
Oh my god!
And once they've gained enough conditions, they get the dead condition. They can also get the dead condition early, at which point they're not actually necessarily dead. It just seems that they died, and they can be brought back. They can be brought back in some future scene. So anyway, it's a cool, like, quote-unquote HP system. And again, it fits into the very director mindset that I was trying to talk about before. Oh yeah, that game is really cool. It's completely free, by the way. Look up Geiger Counter. It's a pretty short rule book, and I would recommend it to anybody to try it out. I haven't gotten to try it myself, but it's really cool. It's also got 2 like example campaign type example sessions, example movies. One is a like Monsters in Space Station type movie, and the other is.
Do they actually like call
Very,
campaigns
very cool.
movies in the game the game's like rule system?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think
Kind of like
they're-
how
I
Left
think
4
it's
Dead calls it like a film.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I think it's meant more for like a one shot or like maybe a couple session thing. So it's not really meant for or a longer form campaign.
Yeah. I mean, in one shot,
But,
even consider like a one shot a campaign. But yeah.
No, again, it is explicitly you are making a film. Like you are, when it's your turn to direct, that's what it is. You take over the director role. Like that is your actual role in the thing. It's not playing a character. It's playing the people making the movie. Like how that guy pulled his rocket launcher out of thin air. This is. Are we in the end game of this mission, by the way? Where there's the helicopter with Darcy? Why don't you just let them shoot down the helicopter? That's Darcy.
Let me get out of here.
All right, we're
I actually find this part of the mission cool. Like it's got a good cinematic feel because you can go around. These guys are really focused on shooting down the helicopter, so you can actually go around and sneak up to them. You don't even have to really sneak for the most part, and
Oh fuck!
knock them out, or slit their throat or whatever. And that actually makes like this really cool scene of like the spy guy. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. At least
Okay. Oh, I wish that had happened to Disclosure Alert. That would have been a credits. I wish we had credits.
Yeah.
But I generally like this scene. I like the feel of it. It's like you're the spy guy going around taking down the bad guys as they're shoot down the helicopter. Like it actually fits this cool little role and gives you this idea of how some sneaky little bastard could go around and help against rocket launcher dudes who were trying to take down a helicopter. It feels very like a party taking down this encounter via like traditional means. You're not just
like I'm pretty
shooting at the
sly
guys.
for a spy guy.
Yeah. The problem is that Darcy doesn't help at all. He just sits there.
I mean, he draws their attention.
Yeah, while I
I guess
continuously
that's true.
stand behind their back and wait for them to move so I can shoot them in the head.
Cloud, try walking up to them and killing them with stealth kill.
Oh wow, I didn't like just
Don't even-
running up to them and doing a stealth kill.
Yeah, I want to see. As soon as they're turned away. I was able to do this because I wasn't in combat armor. I was in utility armor, which had significantly better sound dampening. It's got like sound dampening 3 out of 5. I think is the max. I think your armor has like 1 or 0.
It's
I
3.
think it's-
This is 3. In terms of sound dampening.
It's like 3 versus 5, I think. Is
Well,
what it was.
see, you're able to just run up and do it.
Yeah.
Also, you were merciful. Not really. He's gonna have.
He's gonna have grievous physical injuries when we're done.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Considering probably the state
Also,
of
all his
medical
friends are gonna be-
hospitals in
also,
in this
I-
area.
Also, I killed all his friends and gave him survivor's guilt.
Oh. Oh, you Madisoned him.
Do these kind of people actually care about survivor's guilt?
Yes, everybody does.
Okay, we're just.
In
checking.
fact, actually, most of it's a plot point actually in this that most of Al-Samad are pretty much just regular Joes.
All right,
Yeah.
They get recruited by Al-Samad because they've got bad living
Okay,
conditions.
okay? Thank you, game, for letting me actually do the thing and getting off.
Oh, the turret. Oh, the turret is a pain in the butt. All these turrets. I've entered them.
They get
Entered them. I've been trying to
They
take
gave me
cover
Tourette's
next to them.
syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
you actually made that joke back in this League, by the way. I was upset about it because I wanted to make it first.
Get in the chopper. But yeah, it's
You
interesting.
got out
'cause, like,
alive, didn't you?
you look at as smoothly as this. But it's interesting because like a lot of this feels like it's just like, oh, you're in the Middle East like fighting terrorists, and then like a lot of the stuff is in the background, right, where it deconstructs some of the tropes and things, like where you were talking about these like terrorists are like regular Joes kind of thing.
And the point that brings it up there is in the Al-Samad, the Shahid's like super elite guard place, where
Yeah.
they point out that these guys are actually hardened badasses. Everybody else is pretty much just normal people that have been given AK-47s.
Yep. Which, to be fair, if you gave a normal person an AK-47, it's still like they have
Oh,
an
yeah.
AK-47.
Oh,
Well, I'm out of the loop on the data recovery.
I actually
Westridge assigned the analysis
briefly
done.
did some like
We'll see what they figure
kind of more like proofing work. But somebody that I knew back in the past was working on a tabletop RPG on kind of a D&D, like where
They were able to wipe
the weapons that you had gave you basically powers of their own. Like picking up a sword radically changed your power set from a like halberd or something like that. Like it wasn't just
Okay.
a matter of range; it was a matter of different
Yeah.
things that you could do. Like weapons really did kind of make the kind of stuff that you could do.
Actually play different roles. Yeah.
Yeah, they really played different roles, and I mean that's actually very true to real life. Like the tools that you use are really important.
Yeah, I mean that's why you have like halberdmen and pikemen, and
In
they're
fact,
completely
it's
different.
yeah, it's actually a huge part of kind of human nature is that tools that we use
Mhm.
determine the things that we can do. That's why
Yeah.
we make different tools.
Mhm.
So yeah. Oh,
Mikey.
So the very
So-
first thing
so-
we're gonna do before we do anything else is go into the gadgets submenu
and buy some first aid.
and buy 5 or 6 first aid kits and like
He only died once, and that was when he got a machine gun to the
5 or
face.
6.
So,
Well, I don't want to risk
Buy
it
some,
because like
buy
that
some
was an
flashbangs,
easy
by the way.
mission.
Buy some flashbangs. They're a lot of fun actually.
Uh,
So I've been doing a lot of gadgets. I've been doing a lot of gadgets on my current through.
Mhm.
And gadgets can be kind of fun. Not actually like one thing that we complained about them during Disclosure Alert a lot was that gadgets are quite expensive and often don't do that much. But well, since you're a recruit, you're probably screwed. So because you start with like no money. But for most runs, like it's actually pretty doable to get quite a few gadgets. Gadgets are expensive, but you don't need to spend that money on stuff once you buy like a decent armor. Intel doesn't cost too much. Like you make enough money just by doing missions to make up for the Intel costs.
yeah, I mean he's got like $30,000.
Like you've got 30,000, you've bought some badass armor.
yeah, but I haven't actually like done any like a whole lot of weapons purchasing. I've mostly just spent it on like one suit of armor. That was decent.
But the thing is that you really don't need to. The weapon up are very minor.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like the only thing like for example the silencer. The only thing that the silencer upgrades
Oh, yeah,
do is boost the or like reduce the damage reduction, which when you're making consistent headshots is almost meaningless.
But I mean,
Yeah.
like for instance, you can buy an upgraded shotgun or whatever, and
Yeah.
like the highest tier shotgun will give you, +3 damage thing over the lower tier. Except that the damage is already at 30 something. That's not that much.
No.
Maybe getting something with higher recoil, which actually is recoil control, is decent because it controls your rate of fire basically. And
Yeah.
if you can shoot twice as much damage, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If the power of one shotgun is 100, then the power of 2 shotguns must be 200.
Yeah, and usually
Therefore, dual wheel shotguns.
We're not playing Wolfenstein, unfortunately.
Actually, dual wielding SMGs makes you worse. So maybe you should like.
Actually, yeah, I think I want to invest in like a slitting endurance for some sound dampening and more upgrade slots. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll buy that the utility armor, the newbie utility armor for now, and then
Oh
save
well,
up some money
don't
for
buy it.
later.
Well, okay.
I'm just gonna buy it for now,
Oh.
and then like we're gonna save up for later. I mostly just want the
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, don't buy that one. Buy the tactical utility armor. Buy the second level, because the second level's way better than the first level.
This is just like for now.
One thing that
It's cheap.
that annoys
enough.
me. Well, the thing is that you don't have the second level you killed Nazri. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We'll get access to it later, right? It's generally how it works. I would, but like,
Actually, I mean, you're able to step on it. I mean, sounding 2 might just be fine.
Yeah.
I meant to try that out at some point. I'll have enough money in my current playthrough to buy the higher level armor. I usually don't get the third level of utility armor. Utility armor is my favorite because I have mods, and it gives you good defense and it allows you to sneak just fine. Like you do not need to go around in civvies or stealth armor. You get, like, as long as you've got stealth, you get plenty of sound dampening just from the utility armor.
Yeah.
And like you can get some perks later on that help out, and pretty much you need to keep on sneaking to get those perks.
Never stop sneaking.
Get
Wait,
that,
you're just sneaking past guards.
get that
I
back
think-
egg.
I think stealthing the CIA roam mission, ghosting, I mean, is also gives you a big old bonus, and that's like
Yeah.
one of the most like fun and like experientially rewarding missions
think
to do
I-
in the game to ghost
I
that
think I
mission.
remember that one.
Well,
you know,
I know, at a disclosure alert, you murdered everybody because it
Yeah.
was hilarious.
because that's generally what happens. Yes.
Yeah. Because we're bad at we
But-
probably
you-
won't
you
do any
really
kill.
want-
We probably won't make any kills during that mission, but odds are we will have a lot of broken noses.
Oh, you're gonna go professional courtesy. Wait, ghosting that mission is actually really fun, because
Yeah.
it's like a. We'll show it off when we get to it, but
That's the one where you're
it's
like
really
going
fun
through the
because
garden
it's,
and
it's
stuff,
very
right?
contained. Yeah, it's basically like this contained 3-level plus a basement, I think. So I think it's really 4-level building where there's guards doing various routines. Some of them are in rooms checking out computers, and you have to, like, one of the required parts is to get them to come out of the room, and you can do that by making a distraction.
Sounds very
Um,
Hitman.
Whoops.
Infiltrate the airfield Shahid uses. I may have more practical advice.
Why is that?
I'll be your handler for that mission.
Anyway,
Don't worry.
it's this very like claustrophobic
I know it's your
kind of
first time
situation where
infiltrating.
you're in this small area, and you get to kind of move around about it and find different hiding spots to put in there. Whereas in most missions, you're just moving kind of along a linear corridor. Ghosting doesn't
Yeah,
feel as interesting because, like, you just knocked everybody out and then walk around. or
Yeah,
whatever.
you just like find a hole and then like let people pass, and then you can knock them out or go past them or whatever.
Like in the CIA mission, when you go past some people, when you sneak past some people, you will have to sneak past them on the way back too.
Mm-hmm.
And
more
you'll
like
have
a
to worry about
Dishonored or
them
a
in this
Thief kind of thing, like a
Yeah,
immersive
yeah.
sim.
Yeah.
Because that's mostly down to level design, right?
And
Not as long as Westridge.
and like it's very very doable. So I mean, it's
That's something I caught in my first playthrough, which she
Sure.
mentions when how long you've been off protocol. She says not long as much as not nearly long as Parker, because Parker has been there like since I don't know if he was in since the first edition of the program, but he's definitely been there like through several editions of the program.
yes. Yeah.
Analysis takes time. And now we have
Specifically,
more
Parker's definitely been there since
Yeah.
Deus Vult,
missiles leave a trail even outside.
and I
Possibly even
believe
the
Deus
the
Vult-
G-
I believe they're
G12 or whatever
G19.
it was. Yeah, G19.
G19, which is an important point. So we will deal with the fallout from prior versions of Alpha Protocol in this game, specifically Marburg and Marburg's organization, who come from Deus Vult, and Marburg even like specifically he specifically chooses the Crusades exhibit in Rome as a target specifically to send a message that Deus Vult is quite dead, even though some people would think it is. Marburg got burned, kind of not quite like how Mike does in this game.
Yeah.
Mike actually gets burned by him for a reason to try and take down Alpha Protocol from the outside.
Like what?
Which actually makes me think I might have misspoken last time, because I'm not actually sure that Alpha Protocol did plan on killing you at the end. when you speak to Parker at the end of the game, if you speak to Parker at the end of the game, he'll say like, you know, it certainly wasn't my decision to shoot missiles at you. Like, I would prefer to bring you back and debrief you. But it's unclear if he means that there was already prior orders to just kill Mike, or if they decided to shoot missiles at Mike. This is something that we'll get to probably this session. Because he had been listed as having gone rogue, and he's listed as having gone rogue or gone Alpha Protocol, as the term goes, because of Mina's actions. I don't know if we ever exactly get what those actions are, like learn what those actions are, but we do know that she is the one that
we know what the results of those actions
goes
are,
on.
which is honestly the most important part of that. Like the actual action she does is meaningless. The important part is that she turns him rogue deliberately because she feels he is her best chance at kind of stopping Alpha Protocol from making things worse.
Yeah.
And because by turning him rogue after he's already in Alpha Protocol, he gains access to, or she gave him access to a lot of to Alpha Protocol safe houses and weapon stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And as she says, you can use the Alpha Protocol resources against Alpha Protocol precisely because it is said to be so deniable that the left doesn't know what the right hand is doing.
Because the thing that Alpha Protocol, like that's part of the plot. One of the things we established for both gameplay and plot reasons is that Alpha Protocol forces its agents to build their own networks up from the ground up.
Yeah.
And if you have a base contact not because the Alpha Protocol gave it to you, it's because one of your coworkers gave it to you because they built that contact up themselves.
Yeah. No, I love that aspect. It's very, very ludonarratively consonant.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that. It gives a great explanation for basic gameplay conceits that ties into the story and ties into the story in like the major plot-related way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This is the plot of the story. You use Alpha Protocol to take Alpha Protocol down.
Yep. That's the whole point.
And it not only plays into the story, but also like highlights a major theme of this game, which is the danger of these kind of Black Ops organizations. Like when the organization is its own weakness.
Yeah. Well, because they're essentially unaccountable and they're designed to be that way.
Yeah, they're
But because they're designed to be that way, they can end up working at crossroads to themselves.
Yeah, they can end up being their own worst enemy. And as I just talked about earlier, like most of the people you encounter in this game are former agents of whatever their rendition of Alpha Protocol was.
Yeah.
Yeah. A great line from Albatross, who is the character running, or he's a leader, he's not running, but he's a leader of G22, which is implied to be a descendant of an earlier version of Alpha Protocol called G19. It's not necessarily true, but
One of those things
heavily
where
implied.
it's so confirmed that even if it's not the details aren't exact, you might as well just go assume that is the case.
Even if not true, it is well contrived.
Yeah. Even if it's not true, he clearly has been involved enough in Alpha Protocol to have a significant, deep understanding of it and how it works mechanically.
Yeah.
Heck, even if it's not true, just the fact that he styles it similarly to G19 could give usefulness in the intelligence community for making other people think that they are a descendant of G19.
Yeah.
But we'll tell him later, and Mike can be like, it seems everybody knows about Alpha Protocol. And Albatross will say, no, Mike, that's because you've been walking in very small circles. Like, all the people that you've been talking to have intimate connections to this program. Like, it's not something that everybody knows. It's just, look, you're in a spy movie. Everybody that you're going to deal with, most everybody that you're going to deal with is going to have some connection to spy stuff.
Yeah.
Upper right is one of them, by the way. Upper right's the left one.
I mean, you can tell me that, but it'll change 5 seconds after you've actually
8 seconds
seen it.
is too much of a
I appreciate it, but it's practically of no help.
No, I wasn't actually trying to be full. You see, this is the thing that, in disclosure alert, every time we came into a hacking segment, you try to give Alduin advice, and so I decided.
I think I just felt Alduin's pain again, like I felt it through the microphone.
You know what's one thing that is pretty cool? I've noticed this by watching a number of playthrough videos. At higher speed, 2 times speed, the hacking game is way easier to see.
Yeah, I actually was thinking about at a higher difficulty, the like
difficulty
like
make
at the
them
major
shorter.
difficulties, the hacking and keypad are actually like easier than the base, like the quote unquote easiest level.
Well,
Like
I
the
think,
bypass minigame is actually super easy. Like when you have 7 of them there, because it's easier. Like the connections. Like for me personally, they look more obvious.
Oh right, the longer is it just longer strings? I can't remember.
It's
I think it's
Or
shorter
there more of
strings.
yeah,
No,
it's
shorter strings.
Yeah.
shorter strings and it changes faster, which for some
Does
reason
it
actually
change faster?
yeah, like it changes faster higher difficulty
Okay.
levels. Which
Okay. well,
actually
if
makes
changes
it
faster, that definitely
really
makes it
easier to see.
Yeah.
Actually.
Again, I mean that's what I was finding just watching YouTube videos on 2x speed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is so obvious.
Mm-hmm. It feels really weird because like you miss it and then like you're watching the video of it or something and it's like
Oh,
it's right there.
hey.
It's this whole time like no, why can't you see it?
Whoops.
Should be so. You killed him. Just FYI.
I don't know.
And you got saw. You got seen.
These are Nazari's cards, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. With the because these guys have like armor and don't die instantly. Or you could just punch him in the face 5 times, or like 5 combos. Rip.
Oh wow, he's got a block.
Yeah.
So I've been playing through with a martial arts skill, and
Mhm.
it's pretty fun actually. Just punch it,
Oh,
you punch him
whoops.
for like 5 minutes and then you shoot him.
Mhm.
Hey, that guy was actually pretty smart.
You
getting
actually took off the
covered.
alarm.
Hey, it scratched
Anyway.
me for a second. That's interesting. That's new.
Anyway, I've been having a moderate amount of fun, just kind of punching everybody.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh,
But-
there you are.
I don't know. Stealthing generally does feel a bit more fun, and
Yeah.
it's really annoying that the punch has no like It's really annoying when you run up to somebody and punch, and it turns out they're 1 inch away from your fist. That's what's break down that door.
No, we're gonna be gentle.
What?
The door
You-
didn't
somebody
hurt.
set up
Didn't
a
try
wall.
to shoot me. The people did.
You don't know that. Well, the people came in, right? They found you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
you know
good
why.
people.
Door snitched.
But yeah, I feel like sneaking definitely seems like the intended experience here.
It's supposed to be a spy. It's supposed to be a spy game, so
Yeah, it's very weird that you even have the option of going in like guns blazing with like full combat armor and a assault rifle. It feels like it's almost
There we go. Found you.
like a sop to like the shooter crowd kind of thing.
Good job. You've shut down the hangar cameras. The ones at the tower are on a different circuit, though.
This
Well,
happens
whenever-
with a lot of Obsidian games where it feels like this isn't really what they wanted to do, which is what
Yeah.
people play.
Yeah, like it's if we
Interesting.
talked about this, but like you're right. Like the problem with Obsidian is generally the worst parts are the parts where you're actually playing the game.
Yeah.
And like the best parts are where you're just kind of reading through or listening to a bunch of dialogue and just responding to it.
I mean, the most interesting things about Alpha Protocol, like bar none, are the way it handles conversations and relationships.
Yeah.
And
Whereas
that's
the
something
actual
that-
game is somewhat of a bog standard.
yeah, it's fine. It's like the first Mass Effect, right? Which was
This is the comparison we make all
yeah,
the
we
time.
made it like 2 weeks ago. Like
Although Alpha Protocol is a little more
I would say that Mass Effect was actually a bit tighter
little
than
more
Alpha
extreme.
Protocol is. Like if I'm being perfectly honest, like there's
Yeah, I
something
mean-
that feels a little loose and floaty about the way Alpha Protocol plays.
the class design and the skills in Mass Effect 1 were better.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Alpha Protocol also has a better kind of mission design. I mean,
Yeah.
Mass Effect
Mass
Mass
Effect
Effect
mission design
has
is
great
awful.
like mission places, but like for instance, a lot of side quests.
They have good atmosphere,
feel all over
but
the
not
place.
the level design is not great. There's a few exceptions,
I
but
don't have anything that's long enough reach that can
I mean,
really get up there.
It's
so I'm
it's
gonna
kind of a story point in Mass Effect 1.
yeah,
but
they mentioned
lots
like
of places
all
are
the side quests
prefab. Yeah, but I mean, like that's because these are just how you're getting. Most of the places that you go to are small survey teams or small colony outpost or like you know people on the fringes of space.
But yeah,
That's
even
why
when you
they
go to-
all turn into Husk because they don't have an army with them. And in
yeah.
fact,
Even
that's
Novaria
exactly
and Therum are like not exactly centralized places. And then Mass Effect 2, you get like crates everywhere, right?
Well, yeah, Mass Effect 2, the level design is just all chest high walls, like
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous. Like the Mass Effect 1 everywhere makes sense because you tend to be in places that are in flux,
Where it makes
right?
sense
They
for
are
there to
not
be
meant to be. Yeah, yeah. Just like it makes
It's a
sense for there
little-
to be great bad things.
It's definitely very noticeable in some of those prefabs.
Shoot
where
him
it's
with the
just
SC. Just climb the. Oh, just actually, you
Climb.
can just ignore him. It doesn't matter.
yeah. But
See, like I actually find the ones that are because the ones that are 7 and higher are much they're much straighter, the lines than
Yeah,
than the lower ones. So it's actually easier for me to trace
Yeah.
them than it is for.
you have less time. Shoot those barrels. Those barrels will explode, right?
Will they? Oh yeah, they will.
They're red. That's like
You can blow up. You can blow up most trucks as well. It's just.
yeah. You have to
That'd be
use like
very
something explosive.
I mean,
Oh, it didn't
you
even kill-
can.
okay.
With, I mean,
I thought
that's
it was
the.
Yeah, you use like a grenade usually.
I mean, that's
Or, you know,
Darcy's training. But
you just did.
I think you can just shoot them with bullets, to be honest.
You have to know where the
Like
gas
that
tank is.
guy that truck's gonna explode. Just well, it's exploded.
Well, it exploded because he blew up the barrels on the back of it.
Did it? I thought it was because of the guy on
I
the
don't
machine
think so.
gun.
I think it was a combination of both, actually.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
they probably just have damage, right? And then when you
There's
when
any
they get
items to pick
damaged,
up over here.
they
Yeah,
start
there we
exploding.
go. SMG
And
rounds.
you know what? That's the thing that that's one of the things that kind of I wish this game did more of is
Mm-hmm.
stuff like teaming up with various different people on missions. There's
Yeah.
a few moments of it, but for instance, especially
Yeah, like in Moscow
hand.
is a really good example
Yeah.
because it's like it's almost like a one-time thing though.
well, Taipei is the best example by far.
Yeah.
Taipei #1, you get to pull off like you do a full like heist movie setup, talking to your team sort of thing.
Oh right.
That one's great. You get to have what is it 1, 2, 3
So
other people
one
on
of
your
the
team.
best things with technical aptitude in this game is that like leveling it up gives you a couple of really good passive bonuses. Like it's the tree where if you want to if you don't want to excel at anything but you want to be a generalist, like this is the
Yeah,
tree for you.
Yeah, technical aptitude is the tree of stuff that we didn't find a place to fit anywhere else. I actually kind of feel like technical aptitude's not that great because a lot of the abilities in it aren't relevant to a number of playstyles.
Yeah.
Brilliance, awesome. Or brilliance is brilliant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Master.
I am going to go for
Master
technical
Brilliance
aptitude
is
for like a
amazing.
specific reason, like not even like divorced from their
You're doing it
intended
for Moscow,
purpose.
right?
Yes, for Moscow.
Yeah. In one of the final missions in Moscow, if you have brilliance or a couple other options, if you're a tech specialist background, which is one of the normal 3 backgrounds, or if you're a veteran, you can complete 2 tasks basically in the mission.
Oh.
And
that's
there's
good.
multiple different explanations for it. One is rescue an ally from being tortured, and the other is complete your mission and get the data that you were there for. And like the veteran option is pretty cool. Actually, is look, my ally can they can tough it out. Like they can tough it out.
They
and
have the
I-
stamina to hold off.
They
until
have
I
the
get
stamina to
back.
handle it, and like I have confidence in my own abilities to go and finish this first mission first, and then go back and get them. So it's actually pretty cool. It's
Yeah, and if you're
it's more of a psychological one.
And if you have a tech aptitude, you actually have the ability to have Mina like do some interference for you, so
Yeah,
that
you
she
create a distraction, I believe.
so that she
Like
she
it's
buys you
fire
enough
alarms.
time that you can just do it.
I forget what the generic brilliance one is. Which is what your rank 8 of technical aptitudes gives you the brilliance ability.
Brilliance
The
resets all your cooldowns.
Yes. More importantly, it's you pump your fist.
Right. Which is, obviously what everyone needs to pump themselves up to, do some
Oh
crazy
yeah,
fight shit.
I mean the best thing. I mean, yeah, the best time to do it is in the middle of the boss fight against Braco when you got the music going on, and you're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Turn up the radio.
radio.
So what you do is you just use your pistol, hit him in
Like
the
how
face
you're-
5 times, hit brilliance, and then hit him in the face 5 more times, and he dies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how boss fights go in this game.
Yeah, like
Well,
either
actually,
you actually
so-
fight them out or you lane them out, and we're gonna try to lane them out because I don't feel like actually
Yeah.
fighting those boss fights.
So I just completed Rome in my current playthrough as my first hub, and
Mm-hmm.
I beat Marburg without chain shot. I in fact beat Marburg many times because I ended up going through. I wanted to see some dialogue options and whatnot.
Yep.
And at first, the first time I did that, I was like, "This is terrible. There's no way I can do this." But I played through it like once more because I had done it on the save Madison route, and then I was trying it on the let Madison die route because I wanted to see the different cutscenes again. Because it's been a long while since I've seen them.
I love that
Yeah.
you can counter them, like moving up to check you by just walking backwards.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
it's
it
a
is-
little wonky.
It
Like-
is
like-
totally possible to beat them pretty easily without chain shot. No, got to be on easy, but that's the only reasonable mode to play this in anyway.
But chain shot is just like the easy mode, right?
Change
oh,
bot
it
is
is- it is.
You
is-
literally
yeah.
just hit a button and
Yeah, chain shot is one hit KO.
on
I think
most
I actually
bosses,
did like one hit KO Omen Dang ones with chain shot.
yeah.
Hit a button, something awesome happens.
Yeah.
Right here in Dragon Age 2. Perfect.
This is, you're watching. Cloud said he's been watching through Disclosure Alert
Yeah.
again, and finding a lot of moments to cringe at. This is one of the both this part here when we were doing this part in Disclosure Alert happens to be one of the like big funny moments and also like. at
By the way,
same
I would like
time,
to say,
really big
Alduin, I
cringy
deeply
moments.
apologize for having to put up with myself and Will during your recording of Disclosure Alert.
And this moment is related to that exactly, where Alduin could not find that room with the computer that he just and Cloud was like flipping out, like
Losing
freaking
it,
out.
Yeah.
Completely
I
losing it.
deeply
And
apologize because
eventually-
I was watching that again and I was fucking angry at myself for that.
Yeah, there was.
So,
We figured it out. We
There
chilled
was
out
a-
little bit, I think.
There were Alduin's roommates, the chattering monkeys, in the background as
I forgot about
well.
that, yeah.
And eventually it got to the point where we're like, you mute your mic again. The monkeys are just mute your mic. Mute your mic. Cloud says, I'm sick of hearing you talk. It's not the monkeys. It's just I'm just done. Can't take it anymore. Anyway, it's one of the simultaneously very funny and unfortunately like very
Transmitting the log.
kind of very unfunny with some of the later stuff because it got worse later on.
yeah, it got a lot
And,
worse.
Taipei particularly in Moscow is when it really culminated, because we
Yeah.
had tried to get for a specific thing and we'd messed up and it was unclear how we'd messed up,
Oh right.
Yeah.
and we had to go through the things multiple times and yeah.
And
it
to
just
be
became
clear,
very bad.
we're gonna try to get some things. If they don't work out, they don't work out. Whatever. But we're gonna give it a fair try. And if we don't get it, we'll just explain what we were gonna try to get.
Exactly.
Because they're like the thing that's actually really cool about Alpha Protocol is there are so many different ways in which the same scene can
Yeah.
unfold. Like even divorce from the finale, which finale has like fucking millions of ways it could go down.
You have to go up the stairs, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about anything else to drop or to pick up.
Yeah, it's easy to lose things.
Yeah, it's really easy to just to fucking not pick up something that you should have.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell you the dossiers to look out for or anything like that, or is there anything in particular you want to look for?
I'm just kind of winging it, truth be told.
Okay, I mean, what I mean is I don't mind wiki guiding you if you want. I can give you a heads up before a mission or something. There's not that much important to necessarily get. I mean, actually, at the beginning, mostly the most important stuff is probably money.
Yeah,
But
cash
you bought your-
is
you bought your armor.
cash is in short supply for everyone in the game, and you feel it.
Now get out.
Because the game tantalizes you
figured
with
out what-
the game tantalizes you with all these really expensive, but ultimately not that
Yeah.
much more powerful like weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you feel like you need a lot of money when truth be told you don't actually need like a whole lot. All you need to do is buy like a decent suit of armor and a lot of mods that you rely on, and then you basically just kind of coast through the rest of the game.
Yeah, armor is definitely pretty important because there's some pretty significant upgrades.
Yeah. So I think we did a pretty good job here. We beat Shahid's guards so that when we actually do the final mission, he'll be weak.
Yeah, we've just got one mission left. And we can in 30 minutes. I know Alduin has to be out of there.
Yeah. We can probably do one more. We've done 2 already.
You made it back from the airfield.
If
We
worst comes
just
to
have
worst, I'll
the
just
final
release-
mission,
release
and then
it.
okay.
Yeah.
The final mission, and then we have to decide where to go next. I vote Moscow because I want to see some particular stuff,
Yeah.
and I think Moscow's kind of cool.
That sounds fine to me.
You get.
I want
you get
Rome to be last because Rome feels like a decent finale to the middle act of the game.
Normally, I would agree. On my recent playthrough, I played through Rome first specifically because I wanted it to feel like kind of silly to do this what felt like a very third act one first, just to see how silly it felt. Actually, it felt perfectly fine. I
Yeah.
think doing them in any order is super reasonable. Like, not just reasonable for how the hubs interact with each other,
Yeah.
but also just like each of them feel like good starting points. Like my first playthrough, I went to Moscow first. The Disclosure Alert, and second playthrough, I went to Taipei first.
The other reason I usually go Taipei first is
good.
because the other reason I go
Well,
Taipei
hey,
first too. Usually, we're not gonna do it now. We're gonna do Moscow first, but usually I do Taipei first because otherwise it makes very little sense. The whole Scarlet Lake thing,
Oh, just well, actually,
because it
Actually-
literally say that like you go on a flight with her to Taipei in the framing device interview with you and Leyland.
no, actually, I don't think it does. You just meet her on the airplane.
No,
She's
it's-
connecting onto Taipei.
Oh, I forgot
Actually,
my
by the
intel
way,
for this.
Rome actually makes a lot of sense for that. Is if you do Rome, she'll send you if there's an explosion in Rome, she'll send you an email saying she's held up in the airport because airport security is like suddenly spiked after the attack in Rome,
Mm-hmm.
and she's actually like delayed her flight to place, so she hasn't reached Taipei yet, I don't think.
Because like we mentioned this before, but like it's hard to overstate. Is like that's what makes this game unique is the level of
Yeah.
interaction it has between these different
Yeah.
stages.
I think
And
that's
not
the
just
only
like
email
between
you
states as
can
well, like in ways that you wouldn't expect if you
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
playing normally the first time.
Uh-huh. And if you play like a BioWare game that uses a theoretically similar structure, but it doesn't have that kind
They're
of
very
interaction.
segregated, those three acts usually. Like you can
Mhm.
beat them in order because they're designed so that they don't interact with each other at all.
Yep, yep.
Why does it say Intel is available at the store when I definitely just went and bought all the Intel?
This
Oh,
will become really clear as we get to the other hubs, by the way. But one thing I
Yeah.
really like about this game that's kind of similar to Mass Effect 1, actually, that never got kind of used in other games, but is really, really strong in Alpha Protocol, is Mike Thornton, the character, is very proactive in terms of
Yeah.
determining what missions that he's going to do. Like, Thornton himself, in dialogue, will state the missions that you are going to do over the course of the beginning part of the hub, right? Like,
Yeah.
And while he's drier
it's
than
not assigned to them. He's chosen these ones. He's like, okay, this is the intel that I've got on here. I might check out this, or I check out this, or I could check out this. Sometimes it'll assign stuff to Mina as well, and it's actually depending on the dialogue. Like you can choose to be the one to explain it, or you can choose to, make a smart-ass remark or something like that. Like I believe the beginning of Moscow one is like that, where you say the professional option and just
Hold
here's my
on.
plans.
Hold on. I
you
just
can be
killed
like,
that
"Ah,
guy
I'm
with the
gonna do a
door open, and that guy with the turret did not see a single part of it. Okay.
He like turned like
I just
Yeah.
saw that he couldn't see you. You were actually hitting the door. The weird thing is that the light is not properly balanced on the door. You can see it's like you see the door is not blocking.
I
the light.
love watching the
but it was blocking
physics,
his vision.
the ragdoll physics when you do a headshot in this game.
oh my god.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yes.
Ah!
the way-
Oh, there you are.
Where-
Don't
Alright,
you
it's about to happen.
crouch.
Oh, yeah, just saw it.
But yeah, it's kind of one thing that's this early level. I can see like Saudi Arabia like putting a lot of people off this game because it feels like it's
It feels like a
before
Call of
that
Duty, like a Call of
turn.
Duty almost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like it's brown mode.
Yeah.
Um,
Which at the
you're-
time, like remember at the time this was like fucking Call of Duty was super popular.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
it's,
like, it still is. I'm like you know what I mean. Like the whole like
it was before they did their like future.
the whole
history
War on
turn.
Terror era of video games.
You don't have any
2000s.
good like contact missions. You don't have the great personalities here. Like, who
No.
are the people that you get? I mean, you don't get anything good until you meet Shahid. Basically,
Yeah.
the conversation with Shahid at the end of this mission is excellent.
And it
Assuming
still
you
is
have
yeah,
weird
that
to
one's
call
weird.
them missions, but the contact missions are usually my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
Because
I
you
was
don't
gonna
have
say.
to shoot anybody.
Yeah, it's like you literally just have a conversation and then you leave and you get the actual mission that's attached to.
It's like how some of the most interesting missions in Mass Effect 2
Yeah.
were the ones that didn't involve like a lot of shooting and combat
Yeah.
and stuff, like Garrus and Thane's loyalty missions, I believe.
Yeah.
Which have literally no shooting. And
Garrus's loyalty mission does have
Well,
shooting.
there's a
I'm-
dungeon
I'm
before,
mostly
like
mixing it up.
there's dungeons before then. Like you had like you get a location, do a dungeon, then after the dungeon, then
right. Thanes is literally nothing.
Thanes is very much the
Samara though is like literally an all-talking mission. Even though Samara herself is kind of a boring character,
yeah.
the mission's interesting.
I like paladins, so Samara's. They don't do much with her, as they could have.
That's why I call
Oh,
her.
dude, you could have snuck attack him. The prompts came up. Oh, that would have been so hilarious.
Instinct. I went on my instinct, and followed the bullets.
Your instinct was shoot. Your instinct wasn't takedown. Oh, you've been
Yes.
playing this game wrong.
Bullets.
Takedowns are
More DACA.
Oh, the best thing
We're
to
not
do
an
is to
orc.
like walk up against a person. They just see you and then you punch them in the throat.
Or you,
In the
you
game,
know,
not in real
stab
life.
them in the neck.
Sorry. That's like real life. I mean, no, only in the game. So
Wow.
this is kind of interesting because we literally just came back to the same area. Like,
Yeah.
This is one of the areas that we just visited, which makes it funny that they didn't like increase.
Also, the
security
safe
based on,
is like there's a new there's more condoms in the safe. Like they saw this safe open
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
man, we should put more stuff in it.
It got brought up in Disclosure Alert too. The locks are different though.
Yeah.
They
They
changed the
locks.
lock for some. I think it's just random chance lock, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's kind of weird that there isn't much interaction between the Bug Awesome Mod Airfield and this mission's beginning. Like, if you ghost the first one, they shouldn't know anything. Or if you go on Slaughterhouse, whatever, like
They should have more defenses
they should-
here.
they should have either more defenses or should have almost as they've abandoned.
Yeah, or cleared out and abandoned this outpost. Yeah. Like if
That
you
actually does
like,
feel
can you
very
imagine
weird.
waking up in the morning, like going to work, and then like trying to find Joe in the office to find him and like everyone you've ever loved, known and loved are fucking dead, except for
Well-
Dennis in accounting, who you hate.
Not everyone, because their orphans are at home.
Oh.
We haven't mentioned this yet. There's a stat in this game. There's
Yeah,
two
right.
amazing stats. One is medical bill incurred, which is medical bills for other people. That's non.
Yeah, people who you didn't kill but you grievously armed, and how much money they
Oh,
had
yeah.
to spend at the hospital to get better.
Yeah.
Yep. And the other one is orphans created. I might have been killed by accident. That's because Dark Cloud said that by accident in,
Yeah.
in the original Disclosure Alert, which was amazing. That was the week of everybody said wrong things. You said orphans killed. I said that the beard.
Orphans
made-
killed.
Yeah, That was your title for the week actually, because
Yeah.
your title in the credits, your title always appeared above your name, and so we
Yeah.
decided. I told Alduin it'd be funny to put that as your title, and since it'd be above your name, you can do Orphans Killed : New Dark Cloud. So you were killed that week. It's also because we made up with Sis too. This actually is an orphan, so if we killed her, she'd been an orphan killed. I had said you said orphans killed. I said that the beard, you can't sneak well in the beard because it makes itchy sounds. And we said something to help to Alduin. He was like, "Oh, that's so much helpful." Now, my excuse was that I was dead tired, like I was falling asleep because I thought that we were gonna record the night before that we actually ended up recording. So it was like up all night.
Man, scheduling
I don't know what
issues.
your
Man, we don't
excuses.
have those anymore, do we, Elduin?
Sorry.
It's not. I'm just
Yeah.
yanking your chain this time. I mean it.
Yes. Exactly. But it's curious to me that this game isn't more immersive to me. Like, I guess this is before like Deus Ex came out and Dishonored.
Yeah.
But it feels like if this game came out now, it would.
It would be more like Dishonored, I imagine. Yeah, where it's first person. You're like, but you are moving through this area, kind of free form.
Hmm.
I thought you were meaning like kind of more like open world too.
Yeah, that's
like
and
Hitman.
Less,
like, yeah,
less
more,
emphasis on combat.
Or
like
Human
Hitman
Evolution,
almost.
I was gonna say where
Yeah.
there are combat kind of areas, but you move within a hub and missions can happen within the hub. The actual original version, the original build protocol, was an open world one. Like you
Okay.
walk through the streets of Moscow to get to different missions.
Yeah, because it feels like that would have been a much. This game might have
And
been.
there was a-
I
that
would
kind
probably do like the Hitman thing, where you have a large level, but it's still like a contained level. It's just a normally large one that has like a very free form structure to it.
Yeah, I haven't played the new Hitman, so
You
I'm not
should. It's
100% sure.
I spent.
I've heard it's quite good, but
I mean, I on my own YouTube channel there is a series
Yeah.
on how good it is.
stealth
What
games
are you
not
doing?
usually my thing. Being an idiot move. That's what he's doing.
It's trying to find you.
It's hard to aim at you, man.
Shoot.
Hey, it worked. It confused you. It was his dance-off move. It just maybe should have had more of a plan.
Yeah, it does.
More than 12% of a plan.
I don't think like this game doesn't have. It has the like background dialogue options, but it doesn't have like any other like non-combat skills or non. It has like the unlocking skills and things like that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have like.
Like a dialogue skill or like a speech.
I actually think that would be much worse in this game.
I would agree.
It's not the way it's
like,
structured because the way you're supposed to play the game is by finding the ways to charm or intimidate someone.
Well,
in
the way that
through choosing the right dialogue option, right?
well, but it's more than that because getting someone to hate you is all a very valid option.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, even for the most part, getting people neutral is actually there's actually a great perk at the end, which is reach the end of the game. It's called Switzerland or something. Reach at the end of the game with a neutral reputation with everybody.
That's very
Very
helpful.
difficult to get.
Yeah.
But very fitting for this game, honestly.
But like, if you had things that were like, what kind of contacts you had and how good you were finding it,
That might
the kind of
that
skills
might be
you
a,
have.
yeah, that might be a good one to have. It could change like how you change prices on intel, for instance, or perhaps
Yeah.
unlock additional
That'd be a
intel.
really obvious one, yeah.
That would actually be a pretty good one. They mostly handle that through you having to physically do it yourself. You go on the contact mission, Grigori, to meet Hack,
Yeah.
to meet Hungsha.
And then if they like you more, like the stuff will be cheaper
Wait,
or whatever.
the arm's already pulled. There's no reason for me to bother like trying to dodge the cameras. So whatever.
Yeah, you can pick that fence. It gives you XP.
Just
Kind
every,
of the-
every
one of the
interaction-
weird things is that you actually want to go around and fences you need to just because they give you XP.
Yep.
One thing we're probably not going to see a lot of in this game, but it's actually pretty cool, is you get XP for avoiding enemies, as well as XP for killing them.
Yeah.
You
I
also
think
get
it
XP
ends up
for-
equaling roughly the same amount of experience.
Yeah, it's basically about the same. Also get XP for just completing missions, and I actually wish they just full on gone that way, like not sneaking past guards or defeating them because just completing quests, for instance, or just
Yeah.
completing
Yeah.
missions to get XP.
Or
would be
getting like
because
data and stuff like that. Maybe.
because kind of one of the problems is that the contact missions that you do, the missions without any combat or any running around, it's impossible to get XP on those ones.
Yeah.
Because the way that their mission setup is set up, and the way the enemy defeating type setup is set up, you can't get XP unless you go into one of these run around segments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that spy work
which-
is as important to the
Yeah,
experience of the
and-
game and the character as the running around.
And is oftentimes a lot more interesting.
Yeah, and that's a huge issue with role-playing games, like tabletop role-playing games too.
Yeah, where like non-combat XP is kind of like at a premium.
Gate
Yeah.
sealed off. Must be
That's
another
why
way.
you see a lot of games that do
Right.
different XP systems.
One of the other real problems with that is that there are very few times in this place where you can really skip combat, even though it should make quite a bit of sense. Like often you skip part of it and replaces it. Like
Yeah.
in Rome, if you're friends with Shahid, you can have him inform on the
you can
Al-Samad
buy
guys,
an
and the
intel
Al-Samad
that
guys will
that lets you avoid fighting that
Three-
like first group of guards. 'Cause they-
literally 3 guys.
yeah.
And that's all. After you go this, by the way, you can go to the left as well, and you can make a big explosion.
Explosions are good. I'm
Yeah,
a fan.
so I'd recommend doing that. I think there's also some stuff to hack or whatever over there too. But you go over to the keep end of that. Yeah, so
There's an actual
gosh,
plane going
that's
above
sort of-
my house right now.
yeah, okay.
Hold on a
Oh,
second,
that's
guys.
your jet engine.
No, that is an actual plane heading above my house.
All right, so you know what this is, right? This hacking. 2 idiots on keyboard. That's what this is. I figured it out.
2 idiots, one
That's why there's 2
keyboard.
things.
I forgot about that that video. 2 idiots, 1 keyboard.
Anyways, the only way that you actually get XP are is in these walking around missions and by walking past and by sneaking past or defeating dudes.
It's like that whole like Deus Ex
Which
like,
is-
problem where like you have the code, but you should hack it anyway because you need to get experience for it.
Yeah. Which annoys me in part because I think it's part of the reason that you can't ever really skip common missions, because it would be permanently losing out on XP. When really you should actually, to be honest, you should probably just like gain XP in big chunks, like halfway through a hub or a third of the way through the hub type thing. Like when you complete the alpha stamped mission type thing, and then the final mission.
Yeah.
Those would be in larger chunks, but it would allow you to have a lot more variety. And like you could just skip that mission we're friends with Alsamad. Right?
And it's like in like lots of D&D hacks where they'll be like, oh, the GM will just give you the level when it feels appropriate.
Oh, I mean that's what I've always done when I've GM'd.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also
yeah,
just-
because
No, go back. You want to go to the left. You want to get out of here and go to the
I
left.
want to stab him. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
You're gonna
You
get
go to the
caught.
left,
Yeah,
you can blow him
perfect.
up.
Flawless. I see no problem with this whatsoever.
You got caught by the alarm.
No,
Can you exit the
the
area?
alarm got caught by me.
That's not how alarms work, Cloud.
That's exactly how it works in Alpha Protocol. Don't you understand?
That's not how I remember it.
Okay, look, here's how it depends.
Look, all I need is
did
you
he-
is just to let me show you how to play the game since you were so bad at it last time.
Right, totally.
Oh, you can't exit. The doors are. Oh, we'll never get the explosion. There are two ways into this area. One is by opening the gate, which Cloud just did, and the other way is by going to the left, and you can jump down on top of this. But more importantly, you can get a big boom as a distraction. And really, you should do both because I believe there's like money or intel or something in both cases. Also, just from hacking.
See, now the alarm is down, and I have been undetected. No one sees me. We're perfectly fine. It's perfectly safe.
Yeah, okay,
You,
sure.
and I don't
Whatever
know
you say.
why you guys
Hold
doubt
on.
me.
No one sees you. Yeah, because they're all dead. That doesn't really count.
I didn't leave a witness. Let it be said there were no witnesses.
No remaining witnesses.
Oh, aside from these guys. Aside from these guys.
Well, I'm sure you'll kill them too.
Yeah. See? No witnesses.
By the way, Mike can actually say no witnesses during the game. It's in Rome. Yeah, I hope when we get to Rome that you try it, because you just put a hard save before it so we can do the rest of the mission if you fuck it up. But the sniper rifle mission in Rome, where you can just shoot everybody for literally no reason.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know this? The
I've
sniper
never
mission?
done it the way in a way that didn't make
course not.
sense.
Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. This bag of money is. It's super
I
quick,
hate
can't
that
pick
you have
it
to
up.
wait for the cutscene to trigger so you to finish so that
Yeah.
you can grab it $1,000. Also, $1,000 sitting there on the fucking ground, and not in a safe. Like even for terrorists, like
Also, since,
protect your holdings, guys.
Since Wester just talked to us, I'll mention that I think it would have been a lot better to have Parker as the handler for this mission.
Oh, it's implied that Parker
Um,
doesn't actually like get hands on.
Oh,
Even
no,
as a
no,
hand-
Par-
even
Parker
as a
has
handler.
been a handler. Number one, Parker was Marburg's handler back when Marburg was part of Deus Vult. But that's actually a really important point. Marburg, if you turn Marburg on Parker by revealing that Parker fucked him basically, and left him for dead, then Marburg will go and try to kill Parker. Well, he'll try to confirm that, and he kills Parker, and he goes, I can't believe I didn't recognize the voice, but that was him on the radio that time, all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
But that's not-
Parker does tell you that although he's mostly an analyst, he has worked as a handler before, and I think it would be very appropriate for him to be the handler here because that's number one. That would give forth a different character. We already had Westridge as a handler for Nasri. Also, Parker is a more important character to the story than
Then Yancey.
Yancey. And
Good old
it'd just be
Yancey.
cool. I wonder what Parker's handler bonus would be. That'd be kind of interesting. But yeah.
I wonder if
also
that came down to the
Parker's
voice actor wasn't
directly
available
related.
that day. So in Yancey's was, so I guess it is Yancey. I wonder if like
unlikely.
that doesn't seem likely, but like I've seen less plausible reasons for why certain characters do certain things in video games.
I mean, a lot of the parts of the game were built rushed at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, as we
Like the
as we
game is
mentioned
the
before,
game is
like, there was
famously
overall-
rushed. Like this game is very like infamously a rushed game.
I mean, they basically restarted it in the halfway through development.
Yeah.
Like, just at,
Yeah, I
everything
don't.
they
I'm not
had
saying
burned
I
to the
blame them
ground,
for it,
rebuilt
but
it.
like I would. That's something I clearly I would blame Sega, the publisher, on. Frankly, but it is a well documented fact about Alpha Protocol is how famously
mean-
rushed it is.
Looks like most of the trucks.
Maybe. The important part near the end is that they weren't. They had a bunch of extra time and they weren't allowed to work on bug fixing, run
Yeah.
QA testing during it. But like rebuilding everything from the ground, that's clearly an Obsidian choice. And actually, the part that's relevant to Sega there is that they clearly allowed Obsidian to do that, even though there's a huge risk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually, maybe props to them for doing that. Like that's a tough thing to. That could be a hard thing to sell
To
to
sell, yeah.
investors or whatever. To say
Yeah.
like, yeah, we let the dev video just completely start over.
Mhm.
It's like,
Because
yeah,
like
what
you
about
see
all
guys
our
do that pretty often, but
sunken
usually it's
investment?
on their own games.
Twice a number of line on that. That's necessary. It's necessary.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Submachine guns. If you're gonna spec out of them anyway, then you put all your points in submachine guns.
I guess
Dude, you got to use the ability sometime.
for you,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay.
Temporarily removes the need to reload,
Yeah.
so you
That-
can just use all of your bullets at once.
Well, the
Yeah,
reason
the-
the reason it's actually important is
Convoy's already headed out.
is that the submachine gun bonus does like resets when you reload.
Right.
So if you, so like in theory that's actually a bonus, because while you are eating away through your ammunition, you're also at that point literally
Yeah.
keeping your crit multiplier up. Because they
And-
don't
and-
like machine gun SPs don't crit; they have a multiplier.
Okay. So you need like consecutive hits to,
Yeah.
or hits in a. You can't, shoot more than 10 feet in front of you, but.
I can't believe that actually worked.
He's not on the some machine gun anymore, so he couldn't just shoot you in the face like the other guy did.
But yeah, we are about to get to kind of the reason to play through Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
We are kind of
conversation
cutting it
is
close though.
actually-
Alden. I don't know if you wanna keep going or if you
yeah,
wanna
I should
stop for now.
probably get out of here.
Yeah, let's actually break for now. So I will save last checkpoint
Okay.
and
I think you actually might want to walk through this door. Look over the thing. I think there's a checkpoint right there.
all right, if there's a checkpoint there, then we'll do that. Oh come on, please! I didn't even touch the turret. Why you These turrets are are going to be my enemy for the rest of the game, aren't they?
It's just in Saudi Arabia. I've had the same problem.
Okay, this is not a checkpoint. That's fine. You can redo
Oh.
that flight with 2 guards.
Oh, right. You don't have to go over the wall. No, I forgot. I always think you have to go over the wall because it seems like the place that you'd go over the wall. You walk past this place,
Yeah,
and there's
Okay.
well, it's
Well.
this.
but
I will see everybody next week and make sure we have. the
thank you for
schedule.
coming, and we will try to find a way to get schedules to actually work out this time, because I don't want this to do the same thing we did last time and go
Yeah.
all the way to the end, like, oh, suddenly no one's schedule is working out anymore for next month. I guess we cancel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say though, the scheduling has been smoother so far than 5 years ago. When we
It was rough.
we were literally
That's
like
right.
supposed to be done with the series while we were on like I don't know week 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have anything planned for next Sunday, so Sunday should be fine. Actually,
Yay!
so I'll talk to you guys later.
I'll let you guys know when this ends up going onto the YouTube channel. Take care, guys.
All right, thanks for watching.